This is a Seiko Dive Watch. It's sort of a neo-vintage model from the early to mid-2000s. Automatic movement, 200 meters water resistance. It's got a rotating bezel there in pretty distressed condition. 2 crowns, one does the usual changing the time, and I'm not sure if it's a quick date adjust or not. I think it might be. And the other one rotates this inner ring with the coordinates on it. Interestingly, it does not have a hacking movement, and it's not manually windable, only windable by moving the watch around. And it's called a Land Monster. It's actually kind of a uncommon watch, first one I've come across. Don't come across many dive watches, to be honest with you. They're pretty rare around here. Nice screw-on case back. And anyway, today I solved a mystery. I was really bothered to find, let's test this lens out, let me guess it will fail. Trying to focus here. Let's just come back a bit. Not sure if you can see it, but there's an area of grinding there, right here, and also here, and just here as well. And I was devastated because they've actually filed or ground down through the case, back through the case, and exposed the sealing gasket here, and almost here as well. I think that might have exposed it a tiny bit there, not so much on that side. And I'm like, the whole point of this watch is it's mega waterproof, screw down crowns, and some absolute moron, and I couldn't work out why you would do that. I thought maybe initially the case back tool would slip and taken a chunk off, but then I realized no, it's taken a chunk out of the case. And I looked with the loop, I could see like the filing or grinding marks. You know, this was done deliberately. And today, when I was removing what was left of the strap, I had a bit of trouble like getting the spring bars in, and that's when I realized it actually has drilled lugs. So you push a little pin in there to release the spring bar. You can't actually do it from the inside. And that's when I realized, I also noticed that it's going to be really hard to show you. The lugs, one lug on each side is ground. Look how that's been ground out. That's not factory, folks. Ground out here, that one's about normal. And that one's been, I think, ground out a little bit. That one's been ground out. And so what some absolute pillock has done is that for some reason they've ground out the inside of the lugs and they've spilled the cutting blade onto the fucking case back and the case. And it all sort of lines up. And also on this side here, I think this side they've managed to avoid hitting the case. But so they were either, probably they were trying to get a pin bar in and they couldn't compress it far enough, because you can't, if it's the type of pin bar that was in here, you can't, I don't even know what they were doing, but yeah, it's, you have to push it in. To get it out, you have to push it in from the side. You cannot do it from in here. And it's like maybe they were trying to like push it in incorrectly and they couldn't get the length of the bar compressed enough, and so they started grinding out the lugs. This was about a $500 watch when it was new. Or maybe they just had a slightly wider strap and they wanted to get the strap in. I don't know, but I can see that the way they ruined the case is that they were grinding the lugs. I've never seen this before. And like I said, these are really very rare to find a dive watch. We're on the JH52 on the Sigma, Olympus macro lens, 60mm. That's why the autofocus is a bit slow. And yeah, really devastating, because it would probably cost close to $1,000 to get these laser welded. So it is fixable, but the watch is not worth that much. So not quite sure what I'll do with it. It's wearable. I can't actually unscrew the case back either, because there's probably a little bit of burring in here. So that's the problem. It might come off with more brute force. It could be worn around outside, like it's just that the value has gone. Like, it actually would seal up pretty well for splashing and just dipping your hand underwater briefly. I don't know that I'd want to go diving with it with this situation, but it might actually be okay even for diving. I don't know, but yeah, what an absolute... I've seen some strange things with watches. I've never seen something like this. It's funny with, you know, vintage items. The good things so often have some bizarre problem. I remember once I bought a coin collection, and the best coin in there was a Mexican penny from like 1902 or something, and someone had beaten the whole coin into a dome shape with a hammer, and the second best coin, someone had bent it in half with a hammer, with pliers. There's only 2 good coins in the entire collection. So it's strange how, yeah. Can you imagine like getting a Dremel or an angle? I don't know how they did it. Anyway guys, better leave it there. Just thought I'd share that one with you. Thanks for watching.